G'day folks, Sean here from Air Photography. Just a quick little video for you today, and I just basically want to go over my thoughts on the new GoPro Hero 10 Black Bones. So this is more just all opinion based, discussing my thoughts on it and what I wish they would have done with this release. Now, I can't stress enough, this is just opinion based. I do not speak on behalf of GoPro users in general. And of course, depending on your activities and what you use your GoPros for, your thoughts could be quite a bit different. Now, just for those who aren't quite aware what the GoPro Hero 10 Black Bones edition is, about a week and a half ago, GoPro introduced a new version of the Hero 10 Black, and they're calling it the Hero 10 Black Bones edition. Basically, it is the Hero 10 Black, but it's been stripped down. It has no front screen, no rear screen, it doesn't have the built-in finger mounts, it does not have a battery, and it doesn't have a USB-C port. It's extremely lightweight, it comes in at 54 grams, and for the most part it was designed to be mounted on FPV drones. People mount GoPros on their FPV drones to get nice quality footage, and of course, like anything, the lighter the camera the better. And really mounting it on an FPV drone is the only really way to make use of this camera. As mentioned, there's no battery in it. The only power source has to come from the FPV quad itself. So there's really no other real-world situations in which this camera would be useful. If you're looking for a really lightweight camera to mount on something like a helmet or a hat, really you can't use the Black Bones because there's no way to power it. Now, mounting a really lightweight GoPro is not a new thing. People have been doing it for years in the form of something called a naked GoPro. There are many vendors that sell naked GoPro kits where you can get a kit, you have to tear down the GoPro yourself, basically creating something very similar, but you have to be comfortable in doing that. One of the vendors actually has one that's completely done that they've sold. I think it's a Hero 8 Black internally, and there's one for Insta360 action cameras called the SMO. So it isn't really a new idea, and what I find interesting is that this is what GoPro has decided to focus on. Now, if you're an FPV pilot, this is probably something that's very interesting to you. If you look at the price here, $399 if you're a GoPro Plus subscriber. So theoretically, that's $50 more than what a full-fledged Hero 10 is, which is kind of weird considering it doesn't have all the components. It should be sold for quite a bit less. You can see a full version of the Hero 10 Black sells for $349. If you are an FPV pilot or it's something you're going to be getting into, most of today's quads are fully capable of handling something like a GoPro. Of course, the lighter the camera, the more agile the drone can be, and you're going to get more flight time. But a lot of the builds today are fully capable of the full-size Hero 10 Black, and a lot of people would prefer to have that option. If you're new getting into FPV and you're going to be buying a GoPro to mount on a drone, you're probably going to want to stick with a full-fledged GoPro, just for the fact that it is $50 cheaper. But not only that, you still have a full functional GoPro that you can use for other applications as well. You're not limited to just having it mounted on the drone. Now, earlier this year in a earnings call, GoPro mentioned that they're going to be releasing 4 distinct cameras this year. So of course, most likely we're going to be seeing Hero 11. They did talk about a new professional level GoPro. And of course, many believe that we're going to be seeing a new Max camera, the GoPro Max 2. So that would be the 3rd camera. So for the 4th camera that GoPro was talking about, a lot of people thought we would be getting an updated version of the Session. But clearly now we know that it is the Black Bones edition. And for myself, I find it very strange that GoPro has opted to go this route, just for the fact that drone flying in general as a hobby is a pretty small niche. Not a lot of people fly drones to begin with, and then when you factor in the FPV part of it, that's even a smaller niche. There's not a lot of people that fly FPV drones compared to just drones in general. Now, it is becoming more popular as the hobby grows, but it seems to me that their sales of the Black Bones edition would be very limited. And then when you factor in the cost of it and people perhaps buying a full-fledged one instead of the Black Bones just because, you can do more with a full version, that would even narrow down the customer base as well. Now, of course, this could be part of something that GoPro wants to get into further, and this is a very limited release. It's only US only, so perhaps they're just kind of testing the waters for future products down the road. Who really knows what GoPro has in mind? Now, what I really wish GoPro had done here, instead of releasing this type of Black Bones edition, I wish they had have introduced a new Session. A Session would have appealed to a broader audience. Not just FPV pilots, but just people in general who want a small mountable camera. The Hero 5 Session was launched alongside the Hero 5. When the Hero 6 came out, they did not introduce a new Session, they just continued to sell the current model. And of course, with the launch of the Hero 7, they discontinued it. So sales of the Session were obviously not up to expectation, otherwise GoPro wouldn't have discontinued it. You're not going to discontinue a product that is making you money. And I think that's for a couple different reasons. The original Session did not have very good stabilization. It did have a form of stabilization built in, but it just really wasn't very good. It had a very tiny screen on it, and changing settings on the fly was a little difficult. But with today's technology, today's stabilization, GoPro could reintroduce a new session that was fully capable of the Hero 10 capabilities, and have it in something like the form factor of the DJI Action 2. This thing is actually pretty incredible for its size. It has a full touchscreen on the back, makes it easy to change settings and get a preview of what you're filming, and it's actually very lightweight. So a GoPro session in this form factor could appeal to people who want to put it on an FPV drone, but as mentioned, it can be used for many other applications as well. There are definitely some issues with the Action 2, including overheating, limited built-in storage and no memory card, and of course no removable battery. Now GoPro could take this foundation and improve upon it by including either an option with larger storage, 128 gigabytes, or just like the Session, have a little door on it that you can put a memory card in. As for a removable battery, due to the size, I don't know if that is really an option, but as long as you can get a good 45 minutes of recording, hour recording out of it, I don't think that's too much of an issue. The camera itself is kind of interesting, the concept of it, and if you're a person who flies FPV, this is probably something that may be very appealing to you, just due to the fact that you have the quality of the Hero 10, and of course it is compatible with the new Real Steady. Now myself, I do have one on order just because I do want to test it out. I do have an FPV drone that I can mount it on, but as mentioned, they are only available in the US, so I kind of had to jump through hoops to get it here. It should be arriving later this week or early next week, so I will be making a full review on it once I do have it. So yeah folks, that's basically it for this video. That's just kind of my thoughts on the Hero 10 Black Bones. As mentioned, I really wish they had gone more this route, a new updated version of the Session. I think that would have been a very popular camera, especially with all the new advancements of stabilization, hypersmooth, better audio, hyperlapses, all the tools that we have built into the Hero 10 Black, just put into a nice small form factor. But maybe that's something that they're still working on for down the road, so I'm not going to give up hope quite yet. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, as it's always greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.